that three-phase hip flexor hamstring stretch. So you guys can go ahead and join me right here in this lunge position, where you have a neutral pelvis, torso upright, and just driving that hip forward. You're gonna do 3 rounds of this right here, speeding up each time we go through. From here, we're gonna drop it down. We have a Spider-Man stretch where the hip drives down to the floor. Our body's at about a 45-degree angle here. Again, just driving that hip into the floor, just a different angle for that hip flexor stretch. Then we're going to drive it back where that back hip goes over that back leg. And we extend this front leg and we do a hamstring stretch. And we go ahead, we raise up. We're going to do that 2 more times here. So again, hip flexor stretch, neutral pelvis, torso upright. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, these are shorter stretches versus what we'll be doing later, more elongated stretches. We want to pull back. So if you want to feel a little bit more of that tension, discomfort, again, avoiding pain, but minimal discomfort, you can go ahead and be a little bit more aggressive. We're going to drop down here back into that Spider-Man. And bring it back again, hamstring stretch. Go ahead, raise it back up. Drop it down. And bring it back. From there, we're going to go ahead and switch. Same thing here. You're going to start 3 rounds, normal hip flexor stretch here in this lunge position with that neutral pelvis, torso upright, and just driving that forward. Bring it down to a Spider-Man, pull it back into a hamstring stretch 3 times here. Dropping it down, hips driving into the floor, body at about a 45-degree angle, maybe a little bit lower. And we bring it back, hip over that back leg, front leg extending, hamstring. And bring it back up top. Drop it down. And bring it back. One more time. Bring it down. And drive it back. From there, we're going to switch it back to this first leg here. Slowing it down now. Really trying to pay attention to that one hip flexor. We're just going to stay in this position for an elongated amount of time. Less aggressive, really focusing on breathing here from the diaphragm, not from the chest. Down here, filling up right here. That's going to tell our central nervous system to calm down. which in turn is going to tell our stretch receptors that they can relax as well. From this position, if you need a little bit more stretch, one thing you can do is you can turn in to this upper leg. From there, you can switch back. Second leg here, same thing. Elongated time here. If you need a little bit more, turning in to this front leg, this upper leg. So then we're going to drop it down to the ground. Spread our legs. We have a V stretch here next. This is that moment where we just let our body become the weight. Again, we're elongated in this time frame. Just really letting our body just stretch down. Hands really just resting. We don't need to feel like we got to reach forward. Body's going to take us into the stretch. As we're focusing on this breathing, if we feel like the stretch is starting to relax a little bit, we can dive ourselves in a little bit deeper there. Go ahead, bring yourselves back up. One leg comes in, one leg extended hamstring stretch. Again, elongated here, so don't feel like we gotta grab these toes and pull ourselves in, really falling down here. Once we feel that stretch, that initial stretch, that's pretty much all that we need. As we're breathing, we're gonna feel that stretch dissipate, and we're gonna go ahead, be able to go a little bit deeper. It's about slowly tensing the muscles so that when we stretch it, it wants to stay stretched. Not about pulling it so much that it just wants to snap back together. From there, you go ahead, switch legs. Again, really just falling in, relaxing, not grabbing onto those toes. Raising back up, we're going to do those 3 stretches one more time. So again, down into this V stretch here. Our hands might start a little bit further out than they did before. We might start a little bit deeper into the stretch. That's awesome. Don't feel like you have to. Don't force it. Again, focus on that breathing. Focus on becoming into a relaxed state. That's going to help you get a little bit deeper. It's telling your body that every part of it needs to relax. So we don't even want our hands tense, shoulders tense, even if we're just stretching down here. From there, go ahead and raise back up, nice and slow. Again, start off with that hamstring stretch, falling into it. Raising up, switching over again. From there, raise up. What we're gonna do next here is just a nice glute stretch. Just pull in that leg. Go ahead, release. Switch over. From there, release. And of course, as always, we're gonna finish off with my favorite four-way neck stretch here. Shoulders, hands, arms relaxed at your side. Maybe you get a chair nearby and you sit next to that in case you want to have your hands being able to fall down. We're going to start off here stretching the back of the neck with this chin coming down to the chest. Go ahead and raise that up, tipping it back here, stretching the front neck muscles, smaller muscles, but able to be very tight if we're typing all day, looking down. So we do want to give them some attention. Bring it back ear to shoulder, stretching the side of the neck over here, keeping this shoulder relaxed and not bringing it up. Go ahead, raise up, switch sides. And remember, this neck stretch, great thing to do throughout the day, especially if you need to refocus, need some more energy. What this is doing is helping to warm up and revascularize, or at least reinnervate the vasculature going up to the brain, helping it stay active, getting blood flow back up there, increasing our focus, increasing our energy levels.